Glyos. It's a universal peg and socket system letting independent toy producers create fun and inventive figures with totally interchangeable parts. This week, I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite producers of these toys. Matt Dowdy is the guy who started it all. Since 2007, he's been proving the versatility of his Glyos system with an enormous range of figure designs. As such, going through all of them in detail would take another week of videos. I've shown you how Glyos builds, how each company has its own special traits and tricks. So here, we're going to take a brief look at everything I can show you, just so you can see how deep this goes. We'll start our journey with the Travelers. This is the genesis of Glyos, the original character, Phaedon. He's been around so long you can find him in pretty much any color you want, though the classic light blue and gray are usually available. The head design has some alien and skull elements to it that mixes nicely, and I dig the space armor design with the utility belt. Just as old is Excellus, who doesn't show up nearly as often, which is a shame. I really like his sculpt with a futuristic flak jacket. Over the years, this mold's seen the most changes. A third character using it is Sarvos, with a sleeked down body and much more retro alien head, which is also my favorite of the designs. Then you've got the Dark Traveler, another unique head sculpt usually obscured by an extra scarf piece. He also gets a removable belt piece to bulk up his armor more. There's a lot of heads for these guys: Elder Excellus, Scar Phaedon, Syncroid, among others. Travelers are starting to get paint experiments too, like the recent Redlaw Phanos with its floating armor. Really hope more of these styles come out, because it's a great effect. Regardless of Traveler, you're getting 12 points of articulation and anywhere from 14 to 18 parts depending on release. I will say, they have the same bent knee thing as Colgrim did, but if you're having balance issues, swapping the hips around straightens them up, which is a great subtle trick of engineering. Something of a natural in the Glyos universe is a character called a Glyon. These soldier types feature a much more humanoid proportion and rocks a pretty strong Space Marine aesthetic. With an average of 25 parts, he packs a lot more swivel points, 17 points of meaningful movement in all, and he gets some decent poses from it, which is a good thing since he has a rare weapon accessory. Like the Traveler, this is one that comes in a lot of other configurations, including using the scarf and belt parts. The other way around though. Really clever use of the belt to bulk up the armor and hide the other side of his visor head, which is actually the back of the standard head. There's an alternate head as well with a more humanoid look to it, and in this Army Man green, that seems pretty appropriate. This is also one of the figures that benefits the most from upgrade sets, especially the hub set. These come built into this cute little drone unit, which is a clever use, but broken down, it's 17 alternate components to beef up and enhance builds. Glyons sometimes come released with these already built in, creating a deep space Glyon with some vintage spacesuit style. These guys make great army builders, and they're loaded with parts for making your own space troopers. In a similar vein of heavy part counts, meet Nobato. This little guy's a mere 2.5 inches tall and yet packs in 19 components, including an extra head. There's something really cute about this thing despite the angry eyes and fangs, like a toy dog trying to be fierce. It's still adorable. At 12 points of articulation, he's got some good motion for a toy so small, and the smaller parts will come in handy on that build that still needs some fine tuning to look or fit right. But I think we can go even smaller and more alien. These are Kraboth. At just over 1.5 inches, these are the smallest offerings from Onell. I love these little guys. Just about every drop of toys I've seen has included at least a few, and in colors that have been all over the place over the years, which makes them very fun to collect. Check these out from the Halloween drop in zombie, vampire, and jack-o'-lantern motifs. They're inexpensive too, so there's a lot of experimentation going on. Two of my favorites are the Skelebath and this gold number that I couldn't find the name of. I just call it the really pretty one. They're coolest in matching colors, so you can have a swarm of them crawling around. And when there's a swarm, there's a queen. Or a king, rather. This is a super Kraboth. 4.5 inches of vinyl beast, and it's not just an upscaled Kraboth, it's an evolution of the design. And the same fearlessness in color schemes extends to these. Older Kraboths came in clashing color schemes, which leads to this, and I kinda love these things for it. It's like these are the aliens that inspired Generation 2 Transformer toys. They do go the other way though. Here's the Shadow version, which is really striking. This was sold alongside the Super Skelebath, which I have to show in photo because I ran short on budget when that came out. We're gonna talk more vinyl tomorrow. For today, I think we'll end with Onell's most popular creation. Meet the Armorvor, 3 inches of PVC powered armor badass. An homage to Battle Beasts, most right down to the black spot on the chest, this hits so many of the right spots for me. Check out the head sculpt alone. This guy's all business, zero tolerance, I am the law, etc, etc. I only have a few of these to show off, but they're a fairly regular toy in new drops, and always sell fast. The base build is 18 components, giving you 14 points of articulation. Thanks to the sculpt's curled arms and rotating fists, he's easy to get into some great poses that really play up to the attitude of the toy. Like other Onell offerings, he's got multiple heads as well. On his back is a smaller unit that can be a drone head, but it's really up to your imagination as it also works as a Star Trek-esque phaser weapon. The notable one though is the wolf head. This is where the Battle Beast really shines through, and an anthropomorphic wolf in power armor is kinda badass. Sadly, this dog's getting put down, as Matt's been hard at work on a new alternate head. I'm excited to see what's next, but kinda sad to see the classic go. But while we have them out, let's beef one up. This is an axis joint set, brilliant little devices with 11 extra parts. The two halves of the spheres are connected by a Glyos peg and socket. The diagonal cut allows a very different range of motion, and while it's weird to work with, it gives parts the range of a universal joint, which is great for your builds. We'll also be using a phase arm set, 5 parts designed to give some extra firepower to your Glyos figures. Match the colors up, throw it all together, and this epic beast is born. Jetpack on, arm cannon loaded, and with a full range of articulation, this is an Armorvor ready for anything. It's a relatively easy build, great for newcomers to put together, and sometimes it's the simple ones that are the most awesome. So that's a lot of Onell talk, and a lot of toys, and guess what? We're only half done! We haven't even gotten to the robots yet. Yes, I'm giving you extra credit halfway through the lesson. Suck it up, it's good for you. When a Glyos company releases a new batch of toys, there's no guessing game involved. They'll let you know weeks in advance, preview photos, teasers, and eventually a full list of toys and the exact day and time they're going to go live. Because the toys are all smaller productions, this makes it more fair for those who really want in on the new sets, but also means you've got to be there to make sure you get the figure you're after. Some of the most popular and short-run items won't last long, selling out in the first day or sometimes even in the first 10 minutes. And once it's gone, it's gone. There's no second production run or reissue. Rarely does a Glyos producer rehash old color schemes, and when they do, it usually comes with modifications. Because the audience is limited, most producers are very protective of the collectability of their past releases. Rather than saturating a particular toy and running the risk of audiences not being there for them, they'd rather produce new things. And that is why the eBay prices are so insane.